All right, hello. How are you? So, my name is Patrick Roddie. I'm an activist, researcher, Irishman. I live in San Francisco. I've been fighting the scumbags, as I call them, for several years. And today we're talking about what many people call geoengineering. And I get asked, like, why are they doing it and who are they? A lot. And those are the most difficult questions to ask. But I used to be a newspaper reporter. And with every story, you got to put in the who, what, where, why, and when. So I'm going to start with a what. So officially, there are these proposals to put particles into the sky to reflect sunlight back into space to reduce global warming. And it's called solar radiation management. In fact, 2 weeks ago, they changed the name. It's not solar radiation management anymore. It's radiation management. They've changed it. And this is out of the mouths of Ken Caldera and Alan Roebuck, my BFF and my second BFF. And but what it really is to, again, quoting my BFF Ken Caldera, his words, "You could imagine putting pathogens in a cloud. Let the cloud rain down on your enemy and do chemical and germ warfare in this kind of a way. And this could work on an area the size of the former Soviet Union." So, we all here collect evidence. We take photographs and video of the plane spraying, collect rainwater. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, at this point, we don't need more evidence, but hey, why not? There could be a building on fire, and first you'll say, oh, hey, there's smoke coming out of the basement, then there's the flames going, and you keep telling our supposed authorities, and they will not pay attention even after it's down, the embers have stopped smoldering. We're not going to get anywhere from them. But what we are going to do is reach as many people as possible. But anyway, the what? It's not weather control. Maybe part of it is, but these scumbags, as I call them, have always been into depopulation. And the incidence of respiratory failure has skyrocketed. In 2011, respiratory failure overtook stroke to become the third leading cause of death in the United States. A couple of weeks ago, I came across a story out of the BBC saying that their death rate, overall death rate, had risen 5-point-something% in 1 year. And they were baffled how it could have happened. When I posted that on Facebook, I got a Facebook friend of mine in Italy sent me a link showing that the death rate in Italy had gone up 11-point-something% in 1 year. Again, they're not, so we don't know why. But, and this week, the Scottish Statistical Office released their mortality statistics for 2015. Between 2014 and 2015, the death rate through respiratory failure rose 13.8% in 1 year. 1 year. And if you look on like every day I'll go on NASA has this fantastic resource. I'm not sure how long they're going to let us get at it. It's called NASA Worldview. And you can Google that or go to earthdata.nasa.gov/lab/whatever. I'll put the link in the thing. And now we are seeing these enormous systems. And like, for example, yesterday and the day before, this is March 20, 2016, by the way. There's this huge, I call them caterpillar trails or feather trails. It starts from a central point and you get tendrils stretching out either side. This thing comes in in the mid-Pacific, comes in through Mexico and completely fills the Gulf, one system, and stretches halfway out into the Atlantic. You'll see the similar thing coming in every frickin' day into West Africa, and sometimes it'll stretch all the way out into up through the Mediterranean and into Europe. And it is horrendous. Again, last week, the European Union, they have a safety limit for particulate pollution. And they conveniently doubled the safety limit. Suddenly we're maybe twice as more whatever. But regardless of this doubling of the allowable levels, Plymouth, which is in Cornwall, if you look at England, the bit pointing out at the bottom, out into the Atlantic, that's Cornwall. Plymouth is there, and they had 15 times the revised safe limit of particulate pollution, and they're getting prevailing winds off the Atlantic. So what the hell? There's so much evidence. And I don't need to prove that it's going on. Anyone can see it's going on. So that's the what. The when, how long is it being going on? Weather control is very freaking old. In the Napoleonic Wars, they'd put sulfur in cannons and fire it over a battlefield to create rain. So this is very, very old. I mean, it goes back, way back. I mean, if you look at the patents, they go back to 1910. So it's a very long, very old thing. So who? I call them the scumbags. So remember in high school, there'd be a group of kids who, they were like douchebags, and they would like steal kids' lunch money and stuff. That is a mob. And it's a group of people who are, not good, who will band together and prey on others. And this is a thing you'll see throughout nature. It's the predator/parasite class. So, it's a fractal. So you have, in kindergarten, you might have like kids ganging up on each other. And then you go from school, you have city government, and then government, and the mob itself. If you don't give them 10% of whatever of your thing, bad stuff happens. It's like the city government will say, "Oh, pay us your land taxes, or we'll steal your stuff." You've got the government; it's the same model, and above government, because where it's global. I mean, China gets nailed daily. I mean, it's China, Russia, Switzerland, Israel, middle of the Atlantic, doesn't matter where. People say, "Oh, the government's doing it," and I've even heard people say, "Oh yeah, no, the Koch brothers might have something to do with it." The Koch brothers have no sway over Moscow or Beijing. Again, I recommend, if you haven't seen The Godfather, go watch it again. That is a lesson in governance. That's how the world works. You have people with no empathy. They're sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissistic, whatever. Those sort of people will prey on others. And like I said, we've always had the predator class. We always will have them. And it's up to us to act as a natural counterbalance to them, because when they get super douchey, we sort of pop up like mushrooms and say, "Oh hell no," and the balance is restored. And I wouldn't think, and don't feel lost in, "Oh, but they have computers and drones and special weapons, and we're all is lost." No, this is just the current advancement in technology, and there's been plenty of others throughout history. The wheel, fire, figuring out you can get on horses, castles, all kinds of stuff, which always gets first used for military applications, then gets moved on. Every time, did they get complete control? No, they can't. Just as you can never reach absolute zero, you cannot gain absolute control. And I think it's very important, because these guys, they work in darkness. I mean, it is actually pure evil. I mean, there's dropping bombs on children in a playground is wrong, capital W. Not everything is shades of grey. And they are on the dark side, and we should fight them with love and compassion, because here's the thing. So again, like if you look at the mafia model, you'll have the few family members who will decide how everything else goes, and they have all their lieutenants. So some more semantics for you. The scumbags are the guys who decide to do it. The douchebags work for them. Henry Kissinger is a douchebag. Ken Caldera is a douchebag. So the thing about douchebags, they are all about self-interest. We need to appeal to their self-interest. The people they care for, their families. This is killing all kinds of people. The people, I mean, the very top, tippity-top guys can take precautions, or there are ways. Like, for example, with aluminum, there's a protein that's been developed which will take aluminum off tissue and expel it from the body. It's not available to us, but it's there. And we don't know what sort of countermeasures that they have to protect themselves, but the people beneath them who are helping, they don't get that memo. Oh, by the way, you need, all this special equipment and these, preventative measures so you and everybody that you care for doesn't get hurt by this. So if we can, it's a covert program. No one is going to admit it until they decide, oh, actually here we've been doing this. But everybody who is informed that it's going on, is presented with evidence and does nothing, is an accessory to murder. Yes. And there is no statute of limitations on that. So we'll let them know that, hey, on this date you were given this and you did nothing. If you decide to speak out, or actually at this point, I think a great thing which we should try to do is to get them to not do it. Like the people who, I mean, again, all of the pyramidal structure of power that we have today relies on all the layers beneath it holding it up. And if we can get them to put down their tools and take up gardening or anything else like that, I mean, I don't think we necessarily will expect people to speak out, because bad things will happen. But if we can throw a little wrench in the machinery, but we can do it with love, because this is, and it sounds you need to go out there and fight them. If we were to attack them using the hate and fear and violence that they have, all we would do is engender sympathy for their widows and their children. It's the wrong way of doing it. And it's the power of love and goodness is very, very strong. When you, seriously, here's where I'll sound like a hippie, and I'm proud of it. Because I used to be, but I grew up in a scientific background, my family's all doctors and whatnot, so I was very, secular humanist. And I thought, and I believed, there's too many people. And I once believed in all the flannel that got embedded into the bureaucratic. I'm almost like priest class sort of thing, the bureaucrats who do all that kind of stuff. But since I've been doing this, I'm incapable of being served a bad meal. My food is always, oh my God, this is awesome. I don't plan anything, and my schedule just gets laid out. It's seriously, it really does work. You get help, because this is a spiritual battle. It is good against evil, and they are so unambiguously evil. They're so beyond James Bond villain evil. But light against darkness, one-on-one, it's no contest. Light always outshines darkness. And the other thing people think, but they have, they got the money, they got we have truth. Truth is, if I was to say I'm an 18-foot Tyrannosaurus Rex with pink hair, I would, I mean, I could try to sell it to you, but I would lose that argument. And they are saying, oh, it's for, no, it's not. And with the truth and love, we will win this thing. And again, it's something that's just going to happen, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The only reason I'm doing this is because the scumbags have been extra scummy, and I somehow go, oh, hey, no, this is my time to do this thing. And I look back at everything that I've done up until now, and every crappy movie that I watch, every horrible relationship, or every little thing that I did was essential for me doing what I do right now. Otherwise I'd have all these blind spots. Again, that's me being a hippie. But it really is, they were right. The hippies were right. And we need to just, if you look at children, newborns or animals, they know right and wrong. I mean, it's a universal thing. And what is being done is so clearly wrong and so clearly evil. I mean, how can you not fight it? So what are we going to do? Research. What I want people to start doing, hopefully this goes out on YouTube, go to your, first of all, you're taking pictures of the sky every day, and you'll see days with the persistent contrails, the incredibly rare sundogs, which are barium-based, and actually the other thing, that's the thing that I brought to the EPA in Paris and Istanbul. So keep tracks of, like, this day had this stuff in the sky. You go to your city, go to the coroner's office and get a Freedom of Information request from them and ask them how many people died on every single day and what did they die of. And you can correlate, if you can correlate spray with respiratory failure death, and people all over the world do this, and tie it into the specific spray days, and you might have a little bit of pushback, but if you go directly to your coroner's office, and you'll have better luck doing that. If you have a big general hospital in your like San Francisco General, you need to find out each day who came into the emergency room and for what. How many, like, you want admissions, you want to find how many people had respiratory failure, and it's not just respiratory failure, because barium, which is, the incredibly rare sundogs we have are formed by barium, because, I did this back in March and April last year. There was a 30-day period when there were 21 of these incredibly rare sundogs, and it rained at the end of it, and I got that analyzed, and it came back at 160 micrograms per liter of barium. Less than 1 gram of barium will kill an adult human. So what it does, it causes your muscles to go into spasm, so your heart stops and you die. So it's not just respiratory failure. So these are research things, but the more we have, again, our goal isn't necessarily to get the EPA to say, oh, actually, yes, you're right, spraying's going on, and oh, damn, sorry, we shouldn't do it. It's having everybody knowing about it, because I go back to I keep using the GMO example, because when people started questioning the safety of them, those people were considered, oh, you're some anti-science crazy person, oh, whatever. But over time, we have reached, the vast majority of people are aware, first of all, that they exist, which is a good thing. And people who are given a choice whether they'll eat organic or GMO will pick non-GMO. So it's a groundswell. But it's also an energy thing, again, sounding like a hippie. We need to just listen to our guts and fight evil, because this is evil. Anyway, I was going back to who, what, where, why, and when. Have I covered it all? What did I miss? Why? Okay, sorry, why? Good, thank you. So, again, pyramidal structure of power. If you look at a company, CEO, boardroom, down to like, the janitors at the bottom. This model is throughout society. It works in finance, government, military. Pick a thing that has that structure. So you can easily control a corporation, a nation, a group of nations. If you look at the international stuff that's getting done from the scumbags themselves, and again, I strongly recommend everybody read 2 books. One is Patrick Wood's Technocracy Rising, but that explains the scumbag agenda. And that ties in with Agenda 21. And this is the sort of technological enslavement thing they're trying to put through. And also, if you read Zbigniew Brzezinski's Between Two Ages, he's one of them. And he said, yeah, we're going to do this. So those guys. And if you look at the round table groups, so, it points up to. I mean, the people we've heard about are the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and some other scummy families. For all we know, they might be fronts for somebody else. We don't know, but all you have to know is that sort of structure, and that's our enemy. It doesn't really particularly matter who these people are, because you might pass one on the street, and apart from getting the heebie-jeebies, you wouldn't even recognize the guy. So anyway, if you can control that sort of structure of governance, you can control huge amounts of people, and they have forever, pretty much. But they've always been a bit nervous about being outnumbered so heavily. So who started the wars throughout history? It's the kings, the leaders. It's a parasite class. And if you read Plato's Republic, when he's talking about philosopher kings ruling stuff, he was talking back then, and oh yes, there's too many ancient Greeks. Ancient Greek, the world was overpopulated. It's a hogwash. So this is the same old saw that they keep pushing, and they're trying to, they embed it into the education system. I mean, I even got it when the school I went to, I somehow thought, oh yeah, there's too many people. Sure, it feels that way when we're all crammed into the city, and that's going to feel more so when you go through Agenda 21. But they are not omnipotent. You'd think they are because they have all this power and stuff, but they do not have truth and light and love, and that's a massive blind spot for them. They try to mimic and learn from people who aren't sociopathic, but basically lacking empathy. That's a whole section of your brain that you just don't have, and you can't comprehend what it's like to have. Or like if I was over at one of these people's houses and I stubbed my toe in their coffee table, they wouldn't wince. They might be concerned if I got blood on their carpet, but that bit lacking, that gives us a massive leg up, plus the truth and light and the help that we get is astonishing. So there has always been this balance, and there always will be this balance. The predator/parasite class, I think, we're always going to have them, but I'm fine with them being parasites. But when they move over to predator, no. Like if you think of the sheep analogy, I'm okay being sheared, but I'd rather not be mutton. Right now they're pushing too far over to the predator side, and we got to kill a whole bunch of people, and they are. It's absolutely everywhere. All you have to do is just look up mortality statistics. People are dying by droves from the stuff that we're breathing in. And once that becomes known, that's the thing, because at some point they're going to come out and saying, oh yeah, we're going to have to do this because of global warming or some hogwash. If we get the message out that this is slaughtering, that Scotland number is alarming, because they do not get sprayed that heavily. These are, you got to extrapolate that over the globe. They're killing millions of people, and we have to stop it. And if we get that message embedded, like the anti-GMO stuff got out there, when they finally say, "Oh, hey, they'll be chased. They'll be chased away with torches and pitchforks." Anger is an appropriate response, because if someone slaps your kid, you're going to deck him, and that's a perfectly natural thing. Do you fear a bully? No. Fear, he's just some weak person. And that's the thing, you should feel sympathy for these people, because they are tortured souls. I mean, if like Ken Caldera, he's such a miserable. I really feel sympathy for him because he can see he's all twisted and like, and he really feels uncomfortable in his body. And you know, you compare it to like my one of my neighbors has this like little baby, and when she saw I got like a couple of kittens, like that sort of like pure joy. They don't have that. They don't have love. They're removed from the light. And it's miserable. So if we can show them how awesome it is just to like have a hug or all that sort of stuff, that is more tempting to them. If we can tempt them away from the darkness with the awesomeness on this side, I mean, we have cookies, it's great, you know? So not with hate, not with fear, not with violence, with love. Love is powerful. It's, you know, people think, oh, it's a soppy little thing. No, we can win this through love. So yeah, let's win this thing. So actually, I tell you what. No, I should also say what I do because I sort of skipped that a little bit. So this is something. Oh, wait, by the way, I have a website, stopsprayingus-sf.com. So on there, I'm going to put tutorials of what I do and how I do it. I've told you about the NASA thing. What you do, you get screenshots, you post them on Facebook, share them all over the place. Anytime it rains, or is it expected to rain, get as many clear, large, ceramic, non-metallic bowls as you can. Put them up so nothing splashes into them. Collect your rain, get it analyzed. It doesn't cost that much. The first medal is $17, the place I go, and then the subsequent ones are $12. We're collecting evidence here. I do time lapses are actually quite easy. If you have an iPhone, you can do time lapses. You just put it on there, and you go through like square and photo and video and slow-mo, and there's a time lapse. You just press time lapse and let it go, and you can watch how the sky gets trashed every day. There's look up statistics. They don't expect us to be researchers, and it's very easy to research. The internet has made an entire generation of researchers because they're not going to just go see some movie. They're going to research the crap out of it. Look at all these different reviews and look at them critically because they'll think, oh, okay. Obviously, they'll know that the movie studios will have put people out to say, "Oh, this is an awesome movie." So it's becoming quite easy, and especially with the internet, you can find all kinds of stuff. So anytime a scumbag shows up, I show up. So and I have like this thing over here is an iPhone, and it takes awesome video, and I've got this great little microphone, and I've got a wide lens and all that kind of stuff. And you just show up with it and just ask them, hey, just a question that they can't get out of. And they hate it. And I'm just some guy. You don't have to be a talking head. You just go out and do it. I mean, everyone has the power. And also, like, what I'm doing right now is just a continuation of what people have been doing in the past. And after me, there's going to be more. And it's just this natural system, good against evil. I mean, like the movie Avatar kind of illustrated it pretty well as well. Good movie. You know, the scumbags come in, they try to trash the place to like get the unobtainium or whatever, and the planet's put out of balance, and the planet just shrugs them off. So don't feel despair. And another thing which is important is when people first hear about this, and then they look into the enormity of the whole scumbag agenda. Obviously, they go through a grieving process because there's denial and bargaining and all those sort of things, and it sucks. I mean, it sucks losing a spouse, all those sort of things, and learning this is tough. But you do get over it, and don't feel like when you first, like, say you hear about something and you share it on Facebook and you get attacked by shills. Shills are, like we have herpes and we have shills. It's just something there is, and again, it's just it's what it is. Do not engage a shill. On Facebook, block, move on. I mean, you just don't engage them in any way, and they're like the main shill is a guy called Mick West. He runs 2 websites called Chemtrail Science and Metabunk. And on there are all the talking points. If if you can stand in the sewer of that website and learn what their lines are, all of them are easily debunked. Even though whatever. So, but until you can actually get to the point where you know all the talking points and can fight them, just don't move on. Because if you start beating your head against a brick wall, because these guys are paid to hold that line, and even if you do convince them, they're not going to admit it. They'll provoke anger and all kinds of and they'll suck you into their weird energy. Just don't bother. Block and move on, because there are people who are waiting to hear. I mean, another burning building analogy I use is, what's that? You gotta speak up a little bit. Okay, another burning building analogy I have is like if you're in if you're an apartment building and there's a fire in the basement, and you notice like, oh crap. Of course you're going to start pounding on people's doors and say, hey, there's a fire, of course. If you get to a door and you bang on the door and there's there's smoke and flames behind you, and the guy behind you says, oh no, you're a conspiracy theorist, I don't believe you, there's a fire, you don't stand there, argue the point for 20, 30 minutes as the building burns down. You go to the next door and tell them. So and there are people waiting to know. And the awareness is, as Michael said, it's huge now. You're not going to hear it publicly admitted, but the awareness is way, way up. And you talk to people in person. That's how we're going to win this thing. The online thing, yeah, you can do that, but it's people you meet in the street, whatever, that's the way you'll do it. But anyway, I rambled on way too long. So thank you, and let's beat them. Well, keep them in check. Keep them in check.
Thank you, Patrick Roddie from San Francisco. Stop spraying us.
-sf.com. Stop spraying us -sf.com.
You got it.
Yeah,
Next
cool.
up is Michael Murphy with a little more information. We've got some video, Michael. Are you out there somewhere? I saw you.